arbitrary arrests and detention, threat and intimidation of many, including journalists and political opponents, are equally reported.
Madam Atoki reaffirmed the Commission's unwavering commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights on the continent, whilst also urging stakeholders to remain firm even in the face of daunting challenges. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lamin Jabate, in his opening statement, said this session provides Africa with a unique opportunity to come together for the development of the continent, insisting that this is the right forum to discuss fundamental issues about human rights in Africa. On the home front, he said that fundamental progress has been made in the protection and promotion of human rights, with a number of groundbreaking developments also in the pipeline.
The parliamentary elections of March 2012 and the recently concluded local government elections a few days ago were peaceful, fair, and transparent. The National Assembly has recently passed a series of legislations, including the Appropriation Act of 2012, Women's Amendment Act 2012, Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012, Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorist Financing Act of 2012. The government of the Gambia has also commenced consultations on the establishment of National Human Rights Commission with the assistance of the Commonwealth Secretariat.
He also reaffirmed the Gambia government's commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights and its continued support to the Commission in the execution of its mandate. The opening ceremony marks the beginning of 2 weeks of deliberations by delegates to critically examine and review the human rights situation in Africa, involving a series of side events, presentations, and brainstorming on how to improve the human rights situation in Africa and in impunity. The forum is expected to close in 2 weeks' time. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS.
Now, first parliamentary sittings of the Gambia National Assembly in the 2013 legislative year kicked off with a general debate on the President's 32-page speech. Babakar Kamara witnessed proceedings at the National Assembly and reports deputies unanimously commended the President's development agenda, describing it as necessary for the attainment of the Vision 2020 and the page blueprints.
This August Assembly returns thanks and gratitude to His Excellency's speech of the 28th February on the set opening of the National Assembly. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, say no. The ayes have it.
It is the first parliamentary sitting by deputies in the 2013 legislative year, conferring accolades to President Jammeh's recent address to Parliament and the general public.
Your task as National Assembly members is onerous, yet very rewarding, as your preoccupation is principally to better the lives of your fellow citizens through the enactment and implementation of appropriate legislative frameworks. Mr. Speaker, our dear nation has come a long way since July 1994. And for the past 18 years, my government has remarkably maintained peace, progress, and development in all aspects of life.
They are back on sittings evaluating the country's net development margins, measured in a 12-month calendar time frame, graced by the country's leadership barely a week ago. Their debates, exacerbated by added improvements underscored by the Jammeh administration, have carved a niche for the smiling coast with an undeterred commitment by deputies on behalf of their electorate.
Gambia is a democratic country. And our president has been acclaimed as the man of peace. He upholds the ideals of democracy and good governance. And that leads me to the Honorable Majority's commendation to the NRP opposition party to partake in the just concluded local government elections, which was deemed to be fair and free.
His Excellency's address to Parliament is supposed to highlight and analyze the performance of his government over the previous year and inform this assembly, who are representatives of the people, what plans and programs his government has for the year ahead.
With the 2013 first legislative sittings entirely dedicated to President Jammeh's achievements, more of its kind are hoped to happen on the shadows of anticipated gains, meant to be registered in the coming years. Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
Well, time now to take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at news from outside the Gambia. Stay tuned in.
Discover the smiling coast of Africa.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Over 50,000 supporters of the newly elected Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta have witnessed his inauguration at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. 15 African heads of state attended the inauguration of a man who has taken his oath of office 50 years after his father did the same. We have details of that story in the CFI report.
Early this morning, they converged on the Kasarani National Football Stadium in Nairobi. 60,000 supporters watched and cheered as Uhuru Kenyatta took the oath of office as president after being elected in the first round of last month's elections.
Man, the numbers are huge. I'm not even sure whether I'll get space inside, but I'm hopeful.
My feelings is just to have fun, to see the next president, the first president of Kenya.
Some 15 African heads of state and government attended the swearing-in ceremony, but there were no Western leaders who preferred to send their ambassadors. Uhuru Kenyatta, like his Vice President William Ruto, faces trial at the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity related to post-election violence 5 years ago. Their trial begins in a few weeks. Both of them have agreed to cooperate. But on Tuesday, it was celebration time. His hand on the Bible, Uhuru Kenyatta took the oath of office 50 years after his father, Jomo Kenyatta, the leader of Kenya's War of Independence and the country's first president.
I, Uhuru Kenyatta, do swear that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya.
And bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya.
Although the ICC question lingers, the swearing-in marks the end of a peaceful election process. Apart from isolated incidents, and despite the close outcome, a repeat of 2007 was avoided.
On Thursday, North Korean army has said it has final approval for a nuclear attack on the U.S. The UN sanctions have deeply affected Pyongyang's ability to generate cash, and its decision to shut down one of its bases will also have an impact on the country. But as CNN's Chris Lawrence reports, Kim Jong-un has another way for his country to turn a profit.
The launch pad is Kim Jong-un's showroom, and the missile test doubles as a marketing tool.
It's telling other countries, look what you could have also for a price.
Libya and Iran have been willing clients, but former U.S. intelligence official Joe Detrani says sanctions have cut into sales. Kim is profiting off illegal weapons, but brings in $20 to $100 million less than his father.
How important is money to Kim Jong-un? Money is key. He's got to keep the elites happy.
North Korea has its own version of the 1%. Kim needs that money stream to keep